The announcement of the start of nuclear weapons testing and a decisive response to all those who use the nuclear argument in diplomacy today. The United States has announced a return to testing its arsenal in response to threats from Moscow, Beijing, and Pyongyang. According to information disclosed by the American media, the planned meeting between Putin and Trump in Budapest was definitively canceled by the White House due to Russia's scandalous proposal for a memorandum, the content of which was unacceptable not only to Kiev, but also to Washington. The last American nuclear weapons test, codename Divider, September 1992, in an underground bunker in Nevada. This was the first step by the U.S. towards limiting not only the tests themselves, but also the number of warheads. After 30 years, however, the twilight of the United States' dovish nuclear policy is approaching.
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing. We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
The Americans are not directly pointing to Russia, which in recent months has repeatedly used nuclear scare tactics when the classic narrative of military superiority was not enough. Then, of course, there is North Korea, which for decades has been touting its nuclear fist, capable of destroying the West. Finally, there is China, which is also no longer hiding its arsenal development.
Russia and China have been testing nuclear delivery platforms over the past year. A year ago, China tested an intercontinental ballistic missile over the Pacific. And just in the past month, the Russians have tested a new nuclear-powered, nuclear-capable cruise missile that has incredibly long ranges. And they've also tested an underwater drone that could potentially carry nuclear weapons, according to Putin.
It should therefore come as no surprise that Washington also wants to test its arsenal. It is still unclear whether this refers to tests of new weapons or those that the Americans already have in storage.
It's an important part of American national security to make sure that this nuclear arsenal we have actually functions properly, and that's part of a testing regime. To be clear, we know that it does work properly, but you got to keep on top of it over time, and the president just wants to make sure that we do that.
Americans want to be ready. Ready for what? Today? Probably for any eventuality. This follows reports of a review of Russia's nuclear arsenal and comes on the heels of failed diplomatic efforts to end the war in Ukraine.
If the U.S. wanted to make a really big signal or send a really strong signal to Russia or China that it wanted to get back into nuclear competition, perhaps with new weapons designs, then it might want to return to testing for those reasons as well.
According to media reports, the cancellation of the planned Trump-Putin meeting in Budapest was initiated by the White House. The decision was influenced by consultations with the Kremlin, which sent the Americans its memorandum for the meeting with the U.S. president. The conditions set by Moscow have not been revised, hence Washington's unequivocal decision.